Hi guys, thank you for joining. We're gonna give it like a quick minute, 30 seconds to let everyone join. But in the meantime, welcome to use the chat. Say hi. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Glad you made it tonight. And yes, please go ahead and introduce yourself in chat. Ed's going to be our special guest today, talking about AI for social media. So Ed, anything that you would especially like to see in chat?
Yes, I would love to see you warm up those fingers, type in chat who you are and what your business is, because that's going to be helpful for me. Also, if you have anything specific that you are curious about, we may not be able to cover it tonight, but we also might be able to cover it. So drop that into the chat. And I will say it's also at the end of our day. So if the jokes get a little kooky, then it is what it is. I try to make our meetings fun, engaging, so the more that you can jump into that chat, the better for all of us.
Great. That's great. Yeah, let's go get ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Win. I'm the program assistant here. I'm just gonna go over a little bit of the SBDC program. Who we are. We're a regional program that serves the Sacramento, Yolo, Sutter, and Yuba County, but part of the northern region that serves 36 counties with 18 centers. We serve no cost one-on-one advising to entrepreneurs and startups at no cost. To sign up, all you have to do is just head to our website here at sacramentovalley.sbdc.org and just hit the sign up button. Uh, and then the same website to receive our newsletter, follow us on social media to get all of our updates. And here are our upcoming events for, AI Power Week 8, 9, and 10, along with November 13th, we're hosting a procurement and capital summit in person. On the 19th and 20th, we're going to host a workshop about buying and selling a business. To contact us, our director is Suyi Lee Alex, with our email right there, phone number, website. And you guys are going to get a recording of all the slide deck, this PowerPoint, and all of our series is actually uploaded to our YouTube. So you can find all the previous webinar there at Sacramento Valley SBDC. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Kathy.
Just a quick question. Is there the just the page that says, just, that we don't give legal and
Disclaimer.
the disclaimer? Yeah, I didn't see that. Is that
Oh,
on
not
there?
yet. Let me put that up.
Just it's always good to just show that
Yeah.
if you have it. Well, while he's doing that, yeah, so the next sessions we have, just so everybody, first of all, a reminder, after today. So today is going to be specifically on AI for social media, and we have special guest Ed Troxel covering this. Then next week, we're going to cover AI for images. So there's a lot of great stuff happening in images, as you may know. Then the next one, AI for video. And then the final one, we're going to do AI for analysis, so kind of financial data analysis, that kind of thing. And that's actually a brand new workshop we've created. So welcome everybody. Glad you're here. And let's see, am I missing anything? You want to go ahead, Ed, and get started?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. I'm super excited to be here to help you use AI in your business, especially when it comes to social media. I just popped into the chat a question, and I'll say it out loud, that I want you to start to think about and respond. When I say social media, what comes to mind for you? What thoughts are there? What feelings do you have? What tasks do you feel like you have to have? Whatever comes to mind, pop that in the chat, because social media, love it or hate it, there's a lot of feelings around it. There's a lot of tasks around that. So drop that in the chat. That's going to help all of us. While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get my system set up on this side. All
And while
right.
he's doing that, just a quick note that also two things. One is this is a demo class, so there are no PowerPoints. He just has the handout, which is what you'll receive. And the second thing is I'm going to share a link in the chat for an upcoming event on November 5th, which is a day-long program, along with a discount code for Sacramento as about Sac Valley clients. And just see the details in there. All right,
Excellent.
Ed.
Thank you. And I'm just going to read off some of these because, again, if you're watching the replay, you're not going to be able to see the actual chat, which is amazing, by the way. This is a great group. I know we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So some of the answers to that question around what are your thoughts around social media, feels, tasks, a couple of them are marketing, time waster, that's a big one, hard to handle, advertise, time consuming, information, educate consumers. Yep. A portal to other worlds, exactly. So think about that when you are thinking about social media and how you can use it in your business. Because the biggest answers that I hear for small business owners is it's a lot of time is involved. I don't know what to post, and I'm not very creative. Therefore, I don't know what to post or when to post it. So you're going to have a handout, access to a handout that looks like this. You see it on my screen, and we'll go through these 5 steps together. And I'm going to demo in primarily ChatGPT, but we'll also take a look at Gemini. Again, you can use your favorite AI tool. Matter of fact, another question for you. What AI tool do you like using? Pop that into the chat since you guys are active and ready to go. What AI tool do you like to use? In today's class, I'm going to show a demo of Chat and Gemini, and then we'll take a look at LinkedIn and how that ties into what we're going to talk about going through these different prompts. Okay, ChatGPT, Claude, yep, I actually just got on the Claude bandwagon myself recently. ChatGPT and Canva, yeah, if you guys didn't know, Canva does have AI built into it. Good, so we got a good mix here.
Gemini, yeah.
And Gemini, yeah, we got a good mix. So, like I said, you're going to have access to this template. So let's just go ahead and walk through it together. The first one is you want to know your audience. So hopefully you've gone through and in, let's say, ChatGPT, customized your experience and your settings and, really given it some info about you. If you haven't yet, no worries. This first prompt is going to be helpful. So let's go ahead and take this and we're going to pop this into chat. And you can see that I have a demo section here. So let me move my windows around. So I'm going to pop this into chat. And instead of product or service, because those are in brackets, we want to replace that. So I'm going to say bookkeeping services. All right, there we go. And what are their top frustrations and desires? Okay, so let's go ahead and pop that in there and see what chat gives us. The idea here is to get to know our audience a little bit better so that we can move on to actually creating content that they're going to be interested in and want to actually pay attention to what we have to say. Now, as we're demoing, there might be some delays. That's going to happen. And also, there might be times where it just cancels out, meaning I have to retype it and restart the chat. That might happen on your end too when you actually use these tools. It's normal. All right, so let's take a look. We have ideal customer profile, the overwhelmed small business owner. How many of us can raise our hand for that, right? And it breaks down the demographics. Okay, this is pretty good. Obviously, I'm not a bookkeeper, by the way. We have some in the room here, which is great. So feel free, those who are, this is your industry, you can educate us in the chat and say, yes, that makes sense. Oh, that was something I didn't think of, but I might actually apply to my business, right? Like have those aha moments and drop those in the chat. Feel free. Okay, so business types, service-based businesses. We got revenue going on here. We got location. We got team size. And then we get into the psychographics. This is really helpful. Passionate about their craft or business, but not numbers. That is huge. It's a big thing to know about with your audience if you're a bookkeeper. And this, again, all can apply to your industry. So even if you're not a bookkeeper, a lot of these things you can think about for your own business. And again, you'll have this document to use these prompts to get more specific for you. This is what I like getting into though. Top frustrations. Messy or incomplete books, tax time panic. How many of us wait till the last minute for those taxes? Lack of visibility, huge. How many of us in this room right now can feel the lack of visibility? Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. Time drain, we already know that. We talked about that in the chat as well. Then we go into top desires. This is nice. We go from frustration to desires. Perfect. Peace of mind, more free time, confidence at tax time. How many of us want to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to pay my taxes early this year because I know I got the money and I want it done off my plate. Then there's some variations by niche. So you can actually break it down into these different sections. So just knowing this alone is super helpful in creating your content. Like you don't even have to go any further on this document. Spoiler alert, we will, but you don't have to because it's here. And then also chat will ask you some follow-up questions. So for example, would you like me to narrow this further into one named customer persona, like the stressed out Sarah? So I'm going to say yes, because this now gives us one person we're talking to and has that identity that we could even print this out if we wanted to, put it up on our wall, and always look at if we start to go off the road, right? We want to get back on that road and keep going straight down it. Perfect. Here's our persona, stressed out Sarah, boutique owner. We have our overview. We have our demographics. This is also helpful because if you're not the one posting, because maybe you have somebody who helps you or will help you, you can hand this over to them and let them run with it. This plus this document is done. That's your standard operating procedures, right? That's your guide. So that's where you will be able to take this and run with it. So we got our goals, desires, top frustrations, buying triggers. This wasn't up there earlier, but there's some buying triggers. Why she'll choose you. So this is the why. This is very, very important. And then you can have some marketing messages. Now, keep in mind, as much as this all sounds great on the surface and looks good, you still need to pause and ask yourself, does this make sense? The people that I've worked with, does this align with them, right? Because ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they're all going to tell you amazing information. And they're going to pat you on the back and say you're doing a great job. And you're going to feel all the feelings. And you're going to be like, yes, I'm doing it. But you have to be able to think about it and make sure that this is the right information. Don't just run with it. Use these tools, edit, and then go with pasting it or implementing it, however you go with it.
And what Ed's covering goes really well together with some of the things we've covered earlier, which is like how you customize your GPTs and stuff like that. So it's going to keep learning about you and it's going to get smarter and be able to do this better, right? If you're just coming out of it cold, it's making some generalizations, but as it gets to know you better, it will do a much better job too. So yeah, so you want to
Exactly.
build that relationship. Yep.
And we're not going to go any further with the different personas here, but you can have, 1 to 3 if you wanted to. Before we go on to plan step number 2, I'm going to take this exact prompt and I'm going to copy it and put it over into Gemini just for fun for us to look at. Let's see what it comes up with. And we won't go through every single piece of it, but I just want to show you for a reference why it's nice to have a second opinion. So Gemini in this example is our second opinion. So you can see that it starts to lay things out a little differently. We got our target market characteristics, we got the characteristics, we got the description, and the potential niche here. Let's keep going here. We can export it to Sheets if we wanted to, Google Spreadsheets. Here's our top frustrations. So we got a few, it looks like almost a few extras here compared to over here. Maybe it's about the same, but it's a little lengthy over here. Then we have our key desires. So pretty similar, but look at that, it stopped no follow-up question. We got nothing about our stressed out Sarah. So you can see how Gemini in this example might not work for you if you really wanted to get down to this person with all of this information. Of course, you can certainly ask Gemini to go through and build that out for you, but chat in this example gave it to us. We didn't have to think about that. We didn't have to think about asking. So let's go ahead and go on to, yeah, Kathy.
Just somebody had asked a question. Where was it? Sorry.
Yep.
Where was it? Is there a link to what we're discussing? And so that document that you're looking at is you're going to receive that tomorrow.
Yeah. So you're
But
getting
the actual
getting
things he's
preview.
doing, these are experiments for you to try.
Yeah, exactly. And this document that you'll get in the follow-up email that the center will send out, this document is just to help guide you. But again, everything that you do with AI, I want you to be in that critical thinking mode. I want you to really think through things and test and then ask yourself, how can I change this? How can I make it better? What else should I be thinking about? Then you could also ask chat or your favorite AI tool, what else should I be thinking about here? And see what it comes up with. Like, don't just rely on the tool to tell you exactly what you need, because it's not going to be 100% accurate. And it's also going to not be you and what makes you unique, which is your critical thinking skills.
And Kim, you added a good comment. I always tell it to please don't try to please me and say what I want to hear. If you
Yes.
just say nice things and be the yes person, it will hurt me in the long run if you are not honest.
Yes.
You're doing a lot of reasoning. I may end up with a business that is losing money. I need you to be direct. You know what? If you go back and you watch, I think it's our second or third workshop where I put instructions, and I have instructions that cover everything, and I'm asking it to be very critical also. So you can do
Yes.
that in the back end too. So great information.
And what I'm doing now is I'm moving on to step number 2, but notice what I'm doing. I'm carrying on the conversation with chat in this example, and I'm saying, let's go with stressed out Sarah and create a 4-week Instagram content calendar. And we don't even have to do for the type of business because we're already in the chat. We already know what's going on. Content calendar with 3 posts per week. Now you can get even more specific, but I just want to point out we got specific in this example because we identified who we're talking to, stressed out Sarah. Chat knows this. We also identified that we want a 4-week plan with 3 posts per week for Instagram. That's pretty specific compared to give me a 4-week plan or give me a 4-week plan for XYZ. Like, get as specific as possible. So let's see what chat gives us for that. And then what I'll do is just for fun, again, Gemini doesn't know about Sarah. So I'm going to go ahead and just say create a 4-week Instagram content calendar for my bookkeeping business with 3 posts per week. We'll see what it comes up with. But let's go ahead and check out what chat did for us. All right, so we got Sarah, we got the 4-week plan here. Calm your books, grow your business. I like that, right? Then it broke it down into the week 1, the organized foundation. So here's your theme. Here's post number 1, tips and education. Again, you're going to review this information and see what works and what doesn't work. And you're going to edit along the way. 3 signs your books need a reset. Okay, catchy. CTA. Anybody know what CTA is? Pop quiz. Pop that in the chat. What's CTA? Yes, I will tell you, but what's CTA? I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. Yeah, there we go.
MR got it.
I like it. Call to
Yeah.
action. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you all for participating. This is great. So, call to action. you want to make sure that when you're posting, you have a call to action. It's super important. One thing that I hear from small business owners all the time is we post, but we don't see anything come from it. And it's because they're not adding a call to action. And a call to action can be many things from comment to, in this case, if this sounds familiar, it's time to clean up your books and I can help, reach out, message me, visit our website, check out our resources, download our free guide, all kinds of things. Shop now, book now, buy now. Those are all calls to action. And you want to make sure that you start to include that in your captions. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, that means I have to have a caption with the post that I shared. Yes, that's another thing, because I will see so many small businesses who will post, let's say, a photo, but no caption. So not only are they missing the call to action, but there's no caption to include with the photo. So there's a whole process that you have here. And the reason why it's so important to have a caption associated with your photo or video is because it gives people context. And now it's really important to have because it's all searchable. So your post, let's say on Instagram, can now be found in a Google search. But the only way it's going to get found is if it has context, aka caption. So make sure that you are not just posting and checking that box, but posting with a purpose. Have the context in the caption, have the call to action, and make sure you're driving traffic to the right places that you have goals for. That's a whole nother story, but make sure you have goals.
Do you
Yeah.
ever have you know, AI just review your posts before you make them, you know, feed it in there and do that as a second check or anything like that?
Absolutely. You can certainly do that. It's such a great thing for those who are curious and maybe you don't have somebody that you can, maybe you don't have somebody that you can have do that, like a coach or an SBDC advisor. It's a great way to leverage these tools. I love using AI to help me with that when it comes to my posts. I also do it for my marketing materials, like my brochure. This brochure, yes, I designed it, but I had ChatGPT help proof it. What do I need to tighten up here? What needs to be changed? Where do I have opportunities? And there'll be little tweaks. And again, it's just to have as a creative partner to help you with that. All right, so we have week 1, and you can see we got 3 posts here. So just even in week 1, you can see this is pretty simple. I think every single one of you, even though I don't know you except for what you shared in the chat, every single one of you could probably go out and create 3 posts right now, or maybe tomorrow, that you schedule out, and you could probably knock out each of these posts in 15 minutes or less. Now, when I say that, how many of you feel like you can do that? Put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like, that's probably going to take me more than 15 minutes, that's okay. Be honest. Put a 2 in the chat. Let's see.
Getting some ones.
Yeah, good.
1, 2.
Excellent. Honesty is great. Perfect. Now,
Well, 2's
the
good.
reason I put that out there is because I'm trying to train your mind, train it to be okay with creating posts for social media and making time for it, but not too much time where it drives you crazy. So if you think that this would only take you 15 minutes, great, go do it. Check it off the list and be done. Rinse and repeat. If you feel like this is going to take you more than 15 minutes, that's okay. Remind yourself that it's maybe going to take you more than 15 minutes right now. But as you do this, you're going to get better and better at creating these posts, and you're going to fall into category number 1. It's 15 minutes or less, right? So just keep that in mind. It's all about building new habits, and we start by taking action. That's what we're doing with this class.
I want
Yeah.
to make a suggestion too, which is that one way to start training AI better towards you is when you do have really good posts and there are things like, oh, this worked really well. I got a lot of, you know, people, you know, responding to this. save it and
Yeah,
share it back with the AI to say, I want more posts like this. And
yes,
that way it'll start learning what is working for you and what is your brand and what is your style.
exactly. And also take note of what people are maybe asking in the comments or saying in the comments, right? You may not be getting comments right now, and that's okay. But as you start to post differently, you're going to notice people are going to be commenting. Some might just say thanks or that was great or love it or kind of the just the normal stuff. But others might actually give you content. Like, when is a good time for me to file my taxes? When is a good time for me to plant the seeds in my garden in order to have them for springtime, right? Like, whatever your business is, I want you to start paying attention to what people are asking, whether it's a comment on social media, a phone call, a text, or an email. Write those things down because that's content you can use for your socials. And it's going to relate, it's more relatable, and it's what people are going to actually connect with even more so than just you making things up. All right, so with chat, we got all of our weeks done. And here's the cool thing. It gave us a bonus strategy for best times to post. Now, this is the question that comes up all the time with social media. When is the best time to post? The short answer is it depends. It depends on your business, it depends on your channel, it depends on your audience. And the only way you're really going to know is if you start to post. Because as you post, you're going to get data from that platform. So for this example, Instagram, it's going to let you know when your best times are for posting. And you're going to test that. So for example, if Instagram says your best time to post is 3 p.m., pretty much Monday through Friday, you're going to post at 3 p.m. and take note. Does that make a difference? Do you see more engagement? You might not. There might be times where that's off, and that's okay. So test it. In this example, chat is giving you a suggestion, but remember, it doesn't know you, the channel, as I mean, it knows Instagram in this case, but it's not very specific, right? We're looking at Tuesday at 9 a.m. Well, what time zone is that? Does it know that it's my time zone, Pacific time? Right? We didn't say anything. It's just giving that to me. So if you were curious, you can follow up and say, what time zone is this? So you can again ask it. That's why we want to make sure we're not just relying on it to tell us everything. We want to interact with it. And then it also tells us hashtags to use. Now, this is an interesting one, and I'm not going to derail us from where we're headed here with our guide, but I will mention this because it has recently come out that hashtags are pretty much dead. They're not, don't worry about hashtags. So many people get caught up in what hashtag should I use? How many should I have? Is this a good one? Is this not? Hashtags do not matter. Search has evolved. It has changed the game. Adam, I think his last name's Mosseri, from the head of Instagram, recently came out and talked about hashtags as being pretty much dead. You can still use them, sure, and they look good on Instagram mostly, not anywhere else. But if you're trying to use it as a strategy to be seen, it's not really a thing anymore because of the fact that we have search and AI and everything is searchable for that. So again,
Yeah, and AI is more about regular language, which is what's
yes,
so different. Yeah.
exactly. So again, in this example, I'm glossing over this. I'm like, it doesn't apply. I could care less. For fun, I might say hashtag shop local, right? Because that's a theme that we see, or hashtag small business day. So it shows that we're part of that movement, and we want to put that out there, but it's not necessary, right? So keep this all in mind and take it with a grain of salt. It's just to help you with that. Now, real quick, let's take a look at what Gemini gave us. Again, remember, Gemini did not know our stressed out Sarah. So we gave it just a very basic parameter here. So it came up with the themes for each week. So we had our pain points, our solutions, the expertise, and the transformation. A nice flow here. And then it broke it down into a spreadsheet, basically. Week 1 is telling us on Tuesday, we got the highlights. We got a carousel or a reel, 3 hours wasted on receipts this week. And then we have caption, talk about the true cost of DIY bookkeeping. So this caption over here is a little bit longer than, let's say, anything we got over here, right? This is really just a theme. Now, part of the post here. Now, keep in mind, we could ask chat to include captions. So real quick. Now I could just say, take that and add in captions, but I'm going to give you guys a bonus one here that I want you to start to implement in yours. I know it's quiet time because you have to think and talk at the same time. So that's why. So the bonus here, if you didn't catch it, is not just captions, but storytelling captions that engage your audience. Is that a magical prompt that I wrote out? No. But pull from that. Storytelling, captions, engaging your audience. Those are things that you want to start to think about for that. Of course, perfect, clapping, awesome. Yes, I'm doing great. Let's keep that moving though. And then here is post number 1. Here's the caption. Last week, a client told me she was afraid to open her accounting app. It had been 6 months since she last looked. Receipts in her purse, PayPal transactions forgotten, and tax deadlines creeping closer. This is pretty relatable for a lot of people, right? I would change this up a little bit. We don't have to go into details yet, but if we have time, I might use this as our LinkedIn example. But this is something that, again, it gets the wheels spinning. You can copy this and go paste it onto Instagram, edit, and then post, right? If you had an image already. Let's say you don't have an image. Well, right here, it's telling you exactly what kind of images you could use, or even a video. Receipts. Have a stack of receipts. If you got a purse, have the purse with receipts coming out of it, right? Your visuals are right here. You can take that and pair it with this, and it's going to be relatable. People are going to engage. Same thing over here. We have behind the scenes. Coffee, playlist, transactions, chaos. There's keywords in all of these things that you're going to do, and I'm stressing the importance of it so that your brain will pick up on it now, but then later when you're by yourself, it will remind you, oh, maybe that's what Ed was talking about. Oh, maybe this is what I could use. So start to think about that. And then move forward with that. So we have that versus the Gemini one, just to recap on here. So it gave us plenty, and it gave us some ideas on what we could use ask over on chat. Now, if we move on to step number 3, here's where we have we kind of did the captions, write a fun, friendly one with emojis. So let's just ask it to take post number 1, and for this purpose, I'll just take it, copy it. So let's take the post below and have you.
Is this how you normally do your images, Ed? Do you normally do them in
No,
the same program, or do you?
I actually don't use, I would say I actually don't use any AI for my images. I always am either creating my own by actually taking my phone and capturing them, or I'm using Canva stock images if I need to. Typically, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Canva has a great stock image program. I mean, they have gazillions of stock images and they're really good.
Yeah.
So it is, it is pretty
Yeah.
helpful.
Keep in mind that as great as AI is with a lot of things, and even with video and photos, we're getting there, in terms of not having like the issues with an extra finger or, weird grabbing of things and, weird looking stuff. It still is important, especially because you're all small local business owners. It's so important to have real moments from you, your store, your activities, your actual business, because people are trying to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if all you're doing is posting AI images, it's a little sketchy. Even though AI is fun and out there, it's a little sketchy. Now, with something like this image, at first look, I didn't even read the text. At first look, this is not bad. And again, this is for the bookkeeping, right? So I don't always have to be in the photo. So this might actually work. It looks like this is spelled correctly. These are things that you kind of just want to check when you're doing it, looking for things that are they spelled correctly? Does the text, notice I didn't ask it to put any text on there. All I said was just create an image based on what it had shared with me. It even put the actual call to action on there. So it's not bad. For those who are bookkeepers in the room, let us know. Is this something that you would run with based on it? It's not no pros or cons with it. I'm just curious based on the looks. There might be some text that needs to be changed or whatnot, but I'm just curious if this would be something you're like, yeah, I would actually go with that. Yeah, see, I will say, I'm actually really impressed. Chat's doing a good job. It's trying to show off for you guys. Um, So that's what you want to play around with, is just see what you can do. The most important part is what we've already done in step number 2/3 in terms of captions. Coming up with the idea, coming up with the caption with the call to action, and that bonus that I talked about, adding the storytelling. All right, so and we'll get over to LinkedIn here shortly. And what I do in LinkedIn, it will apply to any platform.
Can I ask you a question just about
Yeah,
this in general, about the things that it's creating? Because I know
yeah.
like there's some, I've always heard about some of the formulas, like, how many posts you have and one that gets more salesy and the other, and trying to
Oh,
find
sure.
that right balance of content. Do you have problems with that from, AI generation at all?
Um, no, I mean, that's where
And just,
again
and
you
just,
want,
just,
yeah.
you might want to explain what I'm asking just to make sure everybody knows why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
a lot of us, we don't want to get salesy, right? A lot of us have that, whether it's a social media post, an email that we send out to our list. FYI, if you don't have one, we need to talk about that. But it's always that fear of, I don't want to bug people. I don't want to sound too salesy. I don't want to turn people off. We all experience that. But again, that's why you're, in this example, leveraging AI to help you with that, coming up with the ideas. You're going to read them, ask yourself, and then potentially even ask AI, does this sound too salesy? Like Kathy mentioned, the more you use the program, the more it learns about you and your style and your audience, right? Right now, we're doing a demo and it doesn't know anything besides what I told it already in this demo. So the more that you customize it and share with it, the more specific it's going to get for you and your business, which means it's going to get better. So keep that in mind for anything that you put out there. And I can probably almost guarantee that every single one of you are not going to sound salesy and are not going to be too pushy for putting out your content. Because at this point, let's face it, you're either not putting out content yet, or you are, but you're very inconsistent with it. And that's okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're learning about this. And that's why you're having AI help support you in getting a 4-week plan an 8-week plan, a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, a 90-day plan, like whatever works for you. I prefer to start smaller in this example, 4-week plan, because it's less overwhelming. How many of us here create a 30-day plan or a 60-day plan and you're just like, can somebody else do it? Because I don't want, that's a lot of content, right? Break the task down. I'm all about bite-sized pieces and being able to do something in 15 minutes. That's why I said this one post, all of you could take that one post example, run with it, and create something in 15 minutes. I mean, we basically, I didn't time us because we went on other things, but let's just say it took us 5 minutes to take this one post, ask for the caption, get a photo made for us, an image, and then we would go edit, which maybe takes, let's just say 5 minutes. So maybe we're 10 minutes in on this process if we just focused on this one. And then once you get this, guess what? You're going to go on to scheduling and posting. This is something that you're going to do outside of AI here. I mean, depending on how you have it set up, you might have it tied in, but we're not going to get that technical. This is where you're going to go into your favorite program, whether it's directly into Instagram or you're using a third-party social media scheduling tool. That's a tool that helps you connect multiple channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, other places, and allow you to create one post that you share out on multiple channels. So you can do that. Because again, right now, you might be stressed out over, I have to create all this content and post. But you don't have to post it in that moment. Break it down. Like we said, we have a 4-week plan here. And today, let's just say in this example, today's Tuesday. Yes, I know it's still Tuesday. But Tuesday, we're going to go into AI and we're going to have it create our 4-week plan. Check, we did that. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, we might come back to that AI 4-week plan and ask it to create an image for each post. Then on Thursday, we would come back and start to copy, edit, and schedule those in our scheduling tool. Do you see how I broke that down? A task per day so that it's not so overwhelming. Because for some of us, if I said go and create 4 weeks of content today and post it, you might be like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I got to do laundry. I got to wash dishes. I need to have a glass of wine. I need to walk the dog, right? Like you're going to find every excuse not to do it. So break it down.
Somebody asked
Great
about
question.
favorite scheduling tool. Oh, you saw that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. There are so many out there that I don't have necessarily a favorite, but I will tell you a feature to look at if it applies. So I always recommend just doing a Google search for best social media scheduling tool to see what one comes up for you, because there's always new ones out there and they pretty much all do the same thing. It really comes down to what does it look like for you visually? Is it pleasing? And also, of course, the cost, right? Some have free plans and might get away, you might be able to get away with it because they allow you to schedule 50 posts before you have to pay. Others might require a paid plan. One feature that you can look at if it applies to you is, does it connect Google My Business? So if you have a Google My Business page and you're wanting to post over there as well, because Google likes that, and you can post photos over there for a post, then check Google best social media scheduling tools that allow Google My Business or something like that, because there's very few that actually will allow you to connect to Google My Business. So that's kind of a feature that you can kind of cut down on that just to see what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that if you can feed it, here are the platforms I'm on, I want the best, it's going to give you better information than if you just say, give me the best platform for scheduling, right? Is what, Ed's saying is, and that's absolutely going to be the case. Let it be specific. You're always trying to get it be specific
Yep.
to your
And
business.
if anybody in here, I see some are starting to share it. If anybody in here has a tool that they're using, feel free to share it so other people can start their research. Now, notice I said go to Google to do the search. And I know some of you are like, well, Ed, can't I just type it into Chat GPT and ask it to find me one? Why, yes, you could do that as well. Again, I like to do both because you're going to see them differently. The results are going to be different, and sometimes chat or any AI will give you a nice breakdown with the pros, cons, the pricing and everything all in one visual. But Google is going to give you articles that people have written that compare them. So you get a little different insight on it. So it just depends. So again, have a second opinion. That's the moral of the story. What we talked about here with chat and Gemini, same thing. Chat and Google search. It's just nice to have that second opinion.
And Kim Yara said, yeah, I use Zoho Social. So
Mhm.
that's a good one. And for me, if I'm searching a lot of times, I'll also use Perplexity. And one reason why I tend to use Perplexity a lot is because I do find, similar to you, it's not just about the Google being able to pull up more information, but also because the timeliness, things change so quickly, and Perplexity tends to be much more current. It's hard to do that. So you have to kind of trick it out. Perplexity does it more naturally to try to get more current information. Or you could also ask, what are the most current, or in late 2025 or coming into 2026, what are the most popular tools to try to make sure it's not looking at old information?
Exactly. Again, you have to do your part. Don't just rely on the AI to do it for you. It's a creative partner that's helping support your efforts. Um, so we're getting close on time, and we're gonna look over at LinkedIn in an example here in just a second. Again, we talked about this earlier, but ask chat to review and see where your improvements are. Like look at your analytics, the data that the platform will give you. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're showing up, it will give you data. So you can look at that to see about best times and what performed good. Um, and then you can also have chat or your favorite AI tool look at your content and ask it, like, what opportunities do I have here? Even if you don't know what questions to ask it, you can still say, here's a post that I'm thinking about creating, or here's a post that I created. What opportunities do I have? How can I improve this? Especially if it's already trained on who you are, who your customer is, all of that information. So again, you'll get this document from the center here tomorrow or the next day. But let's take a quick look at what I would do in this example on social. So we're going to take this one post that chat gave us. I'm going to go over to LinkedIn. And again, you can put this on any platform. I'm just doing LinkedIn because I'm going to show you something on there. And we're going to do something with that. So let me go here, and I'm going to, before I paste that, I want to show you this post that I did a few days ago, 4 to be exact, if you see that. So we went to, Kathy was there too, we went to a SBDC conference. So I had my photos, and I didn't know what specifically to put in my caption here. This is the caption. I didn't know exactly. So what I did was I typed out, very similar to this, but not in this format. I typed out, my experience of what it felt like to be at that conference. I was excited. We learned some facts about small business and California, and nothing that was really in a nicely formatted way. I just my thoughts. Then I went to chat and I shared my thoughts and I said, now make this into a caption for a post that I'm going to share on LinkedIn with a storytelling angle so that people get engaged. So that's what we talked about earlier, right? This is what it came up with. And this is kind of what we're talking about with a hook. This is what's getting people's attention, right? Ever walk into a room and instantly feel the energy rise? That's exactly what happened today. Of course, I won't read the whole thing because I want to show that one example that we just pulled. But you can see that it started with that. Then I talk about the fun facts. California is now the fourth largest economy in the world, and 99.9% of those businesses are small businesses. Woo, let's go, right? Then at the end, here's that question. Here's that call to action. Have you attended an event recently that reignited your motivation or perspective? I'd love to hear. I got quite a bit of impressions and I got some comments on there. And then I can actually take that information, if it's relevant, and create a post from it. So this is something that I might have started with just a thought that was like this amount of text, and then I had chat expand it, and then I edited, and then I posted. Now, I'm not going to post what we just copied, but I want to show you how I would change that. So let's just go here for a second, and I'm going to copy and paste what they had. It's going to be a little quiet. Kathy, feel free if you need to chat or anything, but I'm going to reformat this just a little bit to kind of give you guys a better idea of how to format your captions. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, doesn't matter. This is going to help you with those who are scanning your content and be able to get more engagement. So let me go ahead and do this.
And while he's doing that, I just want to, Kanyar said, I had to tell chat, I am getting overwhelmed by too much information. I need to focus on implementation. Are you able to give me information in bite-sized chunks so I can get them done on a daily basis? And I report back to you and get recommendations for the next day. It's a great way, right? You know, you're training your assistant how to best communicate with you. So, you know, finding those things that are going to work in training are really good. And if Ed's still busy, I'm going to just point out a couple of things. We already covered what's a good social media schedule tool. Look it up based on the things that the social media platforms that you're using, you know, put that in there, do an AI search. And then Rumi asked, her Instagram requires more originality. I think it says than before, but I'm not sure what it means by originality. Ideally, that means something what Ed was talking about, which is that he uses a lot of photos, a lot of things that he takes. That's going to automatically make everything original. So photos or videos that you've filmed or created, or any kind of graphics that you've created. You're not using stock photos. You know, stock photos are fine for every once in a while, but you know, you can really over rely on them. And AI is pulling from stuff, and AI is actually trained to notice AI generated things. So you don't want to, you know, purely rely on either of those. Ideally, you're shooting for some things that you create yourself.
Yep. So to explain a little bit about this post, and again, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I want to just kind of plant the seed for better formatting of your captions. I rearranged it a little bit, right? I said, you won't believe what a client told me last week. Lean in moment. Ooh, what did they tell you? Especially because for the most part, people are only going to see this sentence or two before they click see more. So there's a method to this madness. Then we went into what the client told me, and then we broke it out into bullet points. Now, I didn't get into emojis. You can use emojis. You do whatever you want here. I just want to keep it simple. But I did this breakout here. Then 3 hours later, oh, what happened 3 hours later? We did everything. Her words, I can finally breathe again. Ah, amazing, right? Then here's the call to action. If your books make you anxious, that's your sign. My sign for what, you say? Let's get you organized before the panic sets in. And then, of course, you can get rid of this part. Boom. Right? That's what I want you to start thinking about when you're creating your post. And then, of course, we can have that graphic be in there too. But start to think about how you can break that caption into bite-sized pieces so that it's easy for people to scan and read. Because when you have a whole chunk of text, like we saw, it's not going to be, people aren't going to want to read that. It's just a big blob. It's like I don't know where to start, so I'm just gonna flip through and go on. So break it down as much as possible. And then you can take something like this, plug it back into chat or your favorite AI tool and say, I want my post to be in this format, and see what it gives you so that it breaks it down into these sections, if you will. It's all about taking action. Don't wait for it to be perfect. You got to take action because that's how you're going to improve for the next one and the next one, right? So keep that in mind. So I know we have a few minutes left. That's what I would say is play around with your favorite AI tool. Use this guide if you need it. You'll get it in the replay once the center sends it out. And test it. Ask questions. Be curious. And make sure you're editing. It's not just copy and paste. You're copy, paste, edit, then post. I got to make a song out of that. I just feel like there's a beat there. I told you the jokes come out sometimes when I'm here on stage, but think about that. Figure out how it works for you, and I promise you, you will be able to get this down in 15 minutes or less with your content creation, as long as you break it down. And at the very minimum, post once a week. If you can get 3 to 5 times a week, awesome. That might be really, really good for your business, but at minimum, we want once a week, just so that we know you're alive and well and that your business is there. Now, is that going to bring in new customers and make all the bills magically disappear? No. We got to be realistic. It's about building relationships. It's about showing up, delivering, and engaging with our audience. And if we do that once a week, that can make a difference, but it's a starting point and it's our bare minimum. We got to set those bare minimum standards. So keep that in mind.
Anybody, any questions? Please feel free to put anything into chat. We have time for one question or two.
Yeah.
Think we've been
And
covering
if you
everything as we
liked
went along.
this, was it helpful? If you didn't, that's also good feedback. Like, share what comes to mind for that. And also keep in mind, we were doing this on desktop. Use the apps on your phone. Download Chat if you don't have it, GPT, have Gemini on there, have Claude, whatever it is, and either type or speak to it because you have the voice option. And that could be easier. Test different things out because that will be helpful for you. Oh, good. Thanks for the feedback. Listening while driving, but looking forward to the replay. Perfect. Love it.
I'm going to share the link one more time to the event in case anybody is interested, because it includes a code for an additional $30 off. So there is a charge, but it is extremely, $49 for a full day.
Yeah. Question came in. Do you tend to like Chat for some things and Claude or others for others, etc. for others? Great question. I will say that I love Chat and I've been using Chat primarily, like I mentioned, and Gemini I just kind of use for the second opinion, but I had recently started with Claude and I'm really enjoying Claude. So right now I'm kind of a toss up between Claude and Chat. And I will say the reason why I like Claude right now is because I have not customized it like I have with Chat. It doesn't really know me. So it's kind of one of those things where, you know how you show up a little differently when you're around the people you know really well versus like going to like maybe let's say a networking event where you don't really know anybody. You're kind of shy and timid, or you maybe are more out there. That's kind of how this is. So Claude doesn't know a whole lot about me, but the little bit that I've given it, I've been really impressed with what it shared with me. And I'm like, okay, let's keep going with that because I want to know what you know without knowing too much about me. Whereas Chat's kind of like, you know, ah, you're a good friend. You know me too well. I need to ask a total stranger who's not afraid to tell me something. So play around with them.
One thing I'll say about Claude too is if you're working on a lot of long format things, it's known more for that as well. It's like it's known for excelling better at that.
Yeah.
So I think Claude is really giving ChatGPT a run for its money.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Again, test it out. There's so many AI tools out there, so don't get too crazy with them, but have a couple that you can test and then start making note of why you use them, right? So that way it makes it easier for you when you go through your task list or you assign this to somebody else. You have a actual step-by-step process. Like we use chat for this, we use Claude for that. We use Gemini for this. Don't share this information. This information's okay. Ask us if you need help with XYZ, right?
Yeah,
Get those plans in place because they're going to help you and your business.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me and for being so engaged in the comments. This was fantastic. You guys did an amazing job.
So great seeing everybody. Thanks again to Sacramento Valley SBDC for making this possible, and always feel free to reach out to the SBDC for help with your business. So great seeing everybody, and next week we will cover AI for images. So hope to see you here.
Yeah, great seeing everyone. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Ed. Amazing presentation. And thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, you guys will get a copy of all the recordings and the PowerPoint, and all the recordings will be uploaded to YouTube also. I'm saying thank again. Have a good night. Great seeing everyone.
Take
Bye bye.
care, everyone.
Bye bye.